η Orasi από την Ιταλία, που είναι φοιτητές στο Πανεπιστήμιο της Μπολόνιας, έκαναν μια διπλωματική πάνω στην AFI. Μετά το πέρας της διπλωματικής, ο καθηγητής τους πρότεινε να προχωρήσουν και σε μια έκθεση η οποία θα ήταν το πρακτικό μέρος. Και έτσι αποφασίστηκε να γίνει αυτή η έκθεση.
The theme of the exhibition is Oistros. It's a Greek word that has been used in Italy with the same meaning, and it's got a lot of connotations. For me, Oistros took me like a wind. I was taken by an Oistros, in fact, which is a Greek saying referring to a person that is in a delirium and works intensively. So that's how I worked. I worked with intensity, repeating the gestures and the techniques, like dyeing, folding, sewing, threading, and again, like a meditation, trying to visualize my obsessions. So I did this work, which the title is The Passage, and it consists of 3 parts. The first part is the wave, which is the drive force to push you somewhere else. And then it is the passage, which represents a vessel, and it goes from dark blue to lighter blue. And then the third part is the land, which supposedly you'll arrive in a safe place, and there I let go of Oistros.
When this exhibition came up and we talked about Oistros and all the meanings of that, my gadfly became tool. And I had some very old work that I had been done, that I was doing years ago, and I took a big scissor and I cut it into small pieces. Squares, triangles, circles, and all that round things. And I twisted them and turned them into sort of spare parts of an insect, of a gadfly. And that made the title, Spare Parts for a Gadfly's Carnival. So there was the whole thing. Okay, done. And my craziness with Tuli got an end, sort of. I still like it, but not like before. In general, I have a passion for textile, for fabrics and so on. The more you work with one material, you see the possibilities and you see what you can do with it, and it becomes like a part of you somehow. You can't let it go. You have to deal with it until your time is there to say goodbye.
So I set out to do my mare and the foal that with the interaction of the visitor would go up on their hind legs, sort of. And so I conceived of the first one of the 2 things I made. When I set out for the other 2 meanings, it seemed to me that they're one and the same in a way. They can be put together, and so I started out to make various mobiles on the theme of ovulation. I put round stones like eggs to be held in different ways and to move around in space and to suggest the idea of ovulation. And so I decided to group them and have a 4th from understanding, and the visitor is asked to turn this one, and with a tuft of a reed that touches these various mobiles from underneath and sets them in motion, a very soft, very soft movement that the reed sometimes touches something, sometimes not. What I wanted to indicate with this piece was that both inspiration and ovulation, the process of ovulation, need many things to come together. Some magic is needed.
Εκείνη την εποχή όλες οι ροές των μεταναστών που ερχόντουσαν από τη Μέση Ανατολή προς την Ελλάδα με επηρέασαν εμένα. Και ήτανε ο Οίστρος της φυγής κατά κάποιο τρόπο. Εγώ βασικά έκανα ορισμένες βάρκες από χειροποίητο χαρτί που με αυτές θα μπορούσαν να περάσουν. Αυτές οι βάρκες μου ήταν σωτήριες λέμβη κατά κάποιο τρόπο. Έκανα και τα πανιά για να φυσήξει ούριος άνεμος να τους βοηθήσει να περάσουν από τον πόλεμο ή την κακουχία σε ένα καλύτερο μέρος.
For me it functioned rather than thinking about the word, it's the word that took me over and that put me in an attitude of Oistros, of Estros. And so I went out of my workshop, I started changing the way I was and being much more dynamic and taking big lumps of clay and dry clay and breaking it and undoing actually, because this is something that I've been doing for a long time. But I did it in a much more intensive way this time. My work is about creating ruins and trying to reconstitute and to recreate new forms from the ruins.
Υπάρχει και ο Οίστρος των κολλασμένων. Τι εννοώ με αυτό, ότι ξεκίνησα από το τροπάριο της Κασιανή στη Μεγάλη Τρίτη, όπου έχει γραφτεί από τη μοναχή Κασιανίου για τη Μαγδαληνή ο Οίστρος της ακολασίας. Αυτό ήταν αρκετό για να μου δώσει το νεύμα να ασχοληθώ με τη μεριά των κολλασμένων. Βλέποντας τον Οίστρο από την πλευρά της ακολασίας, αναφέρθηκα σε 3 άτομα, τα οποία έτυχε να διαβάσω τα κείμενά τους ή να δω τα έργα τους. Χρησιμοποίησα και ένα υλικό το οποίο επίσης μου ήταν άγνωστο, το αλουμινόχαρτο. Έτσι, έχοντας 2 άγνωστα πράγματα, κατάφερα να αποτυπώσω αυτά τα πρόσωπα, τα οποία για μένα ήταν χτυπημένα κατά κάποιο τρόπο από τον Οίστρο, όπου τον συμβολίζω και με μια φυσική δύναμη που είναι αστραπή, που φέρνει την επιφώτιση.
When I heard that the exhibition would be about Oistros, I was thinking about the horsefly, which is the first meaning that came to my mind. And being around horses a lot, I have seen a lot of horseflies, and I have killed a lot of horseflies, and I'm sorry for that. So I wanted to make a big horsefly to mend it up. And on the other hand, I had made El Mosquito in the play of Lorca, Los Títeres de Catsipora. But I had made El Mosquito, which was some kind of horsefly. It was the character that was telling the whole story of the play. And I liked him very much, so I made a second El Mosquito maybe, but I had in mind the real horsefly, which was every day, yes, I encountered them a lot.
I was thinking more in terms of word, just the word, but Then personally, I'm very interested in plants, so I wanted to do the whole cycle of plants because I've been working with on Kea, drawing the wildflowers there for a really long time. So I thought I would do a whole kind of explosion of the plants from the first rain in the winter until the dry August in cyanotype, but a negative cyanotype. And then I abstracted it more and did it in copper, eating through the copper. The whole project started actually against people who really wanted to destroy this path where all these plants were. So I see us more as the destructors and plants as the natural world. And so the copper was the plants as if they had all been destroyed by us. And this was the little signs of plants left pressed in copper and eaten through the copper, just as if it was in a museum or something. And first we had the plants as if they were cyanotypes that you would see in a museum of something that had passed, something we had lost. So it was a negative, just blue and white, of the plants growing as a record of what we once have that we've destroyed. And then the copper was also, it was just like a trace of some ancient plant.